All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Word with Ty Brownlow. I am your host, Ty Brownlow. And remember, no one is worthless. No story is worthless. Today, ladies and gentlemen, I have a very special guest for you. I'll give you a couple of words about my guest. Corporate, visionary, connected worldwide, all the way from the ATL, that's Atlanta, for those who don't understand. All the way from the ATL, please put your hands together for Miss Bella Rose.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. First and foremost, thank you for being here. You, Miss Bella Rose, look, if I ever seen Black excellence in my life, it would be a picture of Bella Rose and everything she got going on. So,
Thank you.
that man, and that is no cap, as the kids will say, you know. So, look, I want to talk about your cosmetics, Bella Rose Cosmetics. Can you tell us all about your beauty line, because you do a whole bunch?
Yeah. Bella Rose Passion. We actually started 10 years ago, and we didn't start as a beauty line. We actually started as a clothing boutique. And when we started as a clothing boutique, I was new here to Atlanta, didn't know anybody. We moved here on a whim, like no savings, no anything. And I told my husband I want to open up a clothing boutique.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know anything about a clothing boutique, and I'm not fashionable, but I knew Atlanta, and Atlanta is fashionable. So I opened up a clothing boutique near a really popular nail salon. But I got literally no customers. They would walk right past me and go to the nail salon. And that was kind of hard, to see. Like, my people walk right past me. I would have tables outside with shoes on the table, walk right past. I would go inside the nail salon and take my stuff in there to show them, And we got some sales, but what I learned about here in Atlanta is if you're not popular and people don't know you, they're not shopping with you. Mm-hmm. So I met a nice young lady that came into my shop. She was a seamstress, and she pretty much was going through the same thing I was going through, new here. She was from Philly, I'm from Jersey. And so we connected, and we got up our money to pay house moms to start going to strip clubs and selling to the dancers downstairs at the strip clubs, because people wouldn't come to us, so we went to them. And to think about it, we had jewelry, we had shoes. She would make the corsets and the bustiers. So they purchased jewelry from us. They purchased shoes from us. We would just load the trunk up from a lot of stuff and just go from different club to club and sell our stuff. And I just kind of phased out of that because it wasn't for me. And I was like, maybe I should just get a job. But the job thing just wasn't for me. So I remembered a lot of people would come into the boutique and say, do you sell lipstick? Do you sell lip gloss? And I was like, no. But, I thought about it, and I said, maybe, there's a market for that. So I contacted a person back in New York, and I had a whole lipstick and lip gloss line of every single color: yellow, white, pink, blue, every color. And it wasn't like, it wasn't like people didn't gravitate towards the colors. It just, I didn't know how to sell them. So not knowing your market and not knowing your customers, your audience, is a big deal. At that time, I didn't know anything about that. I wasn't business minded at that time. So I packed up all my lipsticks, took my lipsticks to Nancy's Pizza in Buckhead, and the owner was having karaoke night. I had partnered with somebody, and he was doing karaoke night for like a nonprofit that night. Okay. And I didn't have any money, but I had a bunch of products. So I asked the owner if I could sell my stuff at karaoke night, and told him I would pay him if I made any money. He was like, nah, you don't got to do that. Wow. And I made about $200 that night. So from then on, I was like, okay, I know what I got to do. Face-to-face interaction, showing people how much you care about your brand, showing people how much you connect with them. And, just that communication is going to get that sale. So that's what I started doing. I was at every pop-up shop that Atlanta had to offer. All the Browner brothers, me and the owner of Browner Brothers got kind of cool. They let me set up in the suites upstairs in VIP. And I was one of the only makeup artists that they ever let do that. So it was their first time ever having VIP, and they were filming with BET at the time. So, you know, I wanted to make my booth. It's all about how you view your persona, how you view your brand. So all the other brands, you know, they had their table set up and, you know, tablecloths and stuff. Me, I had lights, I had cameras on me, I had everything. Like I was just like a really big deal, because if I feel like I'm a big deal, other people are too. So this is my first time at Browner Brothers, my first time in VIP. My line was wrapped all the way down because people wanted to know what was going on. So me and my makeup artist, I'm sorry, I skipped over a whole part.
No, right.
Going to the dance clubs and meeting different people, I met makeup artists.
Yep.
And me meeting the makeup artists, they would use my products on the dancers.
Mm-hmm.
And so not only did they start using my products on the dancers, I started hiring them through my connections to start using my products on reality stars with Atlanta Housewives, what was it, Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, at the time, R&B Divas, all the reality shows that was here in Atlanta, we had connections to. So I would have our makeup artists go do their makeup with my products and have them shout out Bella Rose Passion. So that reality TV star, seeing them use Bella Rose Passion, their customers want to know, what is Bella Rose Passion? So that's how, you know, we built up a clientele with Bella Rose Passion. And I had our makeup artists doing makeup. We had the reality stars coming upstairs to VIP, and BET even kind of, you know, took a look at us over there. So that was our first year at Brownlow Brothers. It was really exciting, really fun. We made really good money. And from then on, every year they asked us to do VIP. And it's been really exciting working with them. We got a lot of connections working with them. So from there, we took, which I started MUA Atlanta, which it became a reality show. Not like I really wanted it to. It was just my makeup artists were entertaining. And so I connected with a few, I guess, like videographers, and I guess I became like the executive producer the way I produced it.
Right.
I was I was sitting in the living room watching TV with my husband, and somebody was on Steve Harvey one day. I think it was Candy. And I was like, I want to be on Steve Harvey's show one day. And I just sent the email, and they contacted me like immediately. And when they contacted me, they asked me, did I have any content to send them? Good thing I started filming. So I had some content to send them. And they were like, we love it. We want you on the show. And they gave us a whole segment. Not only that, like they flew us in. They had flew me in before they flew my staff in. They kept us there an additional day because the producers wanted to talk to us about actually producing our reality show. And it was like the education that I got from Mr. Harvey, it was phenomenal. He just was like, you know, you're on to something. So I took that, kept going, from the lipstick line to now I have a staff of makeup artists. I got this makeup agency. I got now a makeup studio that, you know, people come into, and it was a lot going on at the time. And our makeup artists would get called to do a lot of high profile people, and the celebrities that we would get called to do, it was like out of this world. You know, Oprah's makeup artist called me one time, and I couldn't believe it. I was like, wait a minute.
Well, I mean, look, now let's just talk about it for a second, because that's a big said now, when you first got there, they weren't even coming by the door. They were just walking right past the door going, man, they was going somewhere else. You know, like, man, what's up? Man, they ain't even cool. You know, like, I thought y'all like, okay. But as you said, it's all about name branding. And if you don't have a name, people only go with what they trust. And sometimes they'll go with what they don't trust if they hear it from someone that they do trust.
Right.
So, as you said, man, look, let me just tell you, I think it was very genius of you, even though you didn't keep the connections with like the strippers or what have you, but I think that was very genius making that connection because, well, I mean, they have to wear makeup, they have to get glammed up, they have to do this, like they have to do certain things. And I'm just listening to everything that you're saying, everything that you look, corporate, visionary, connected, worldwide. Okay, these are the 4 words that I picked before she even told the story. These are just the words that I picked. So I'm just trying to say, you already had the intervention, like it was always there. It was, man, basically it just needs to be set in motion. Once it was set in motion, you had to stop.
It kind of just happened, like it kind of just was going, and I never really stopped to think about it, until like now. But things were just happening. We were getting called to do the Jacksons makeup. We got called, to do a video shoot with R. Kelly at Rick Ross' house. We were called to do a lot of things that I was like,
right, like us.
It was kind of like, wait a minute. How you get my phone number? And it was never a time where I was like, nah, we can't do that, because I always wanted to see what was going to happen. We got called to do, I remember when Boosie first came home, they contacted us to do the makeup on set. Mm-hmm. And I was in Jersey. So I sent the makeup artist to go do the makeup. I flew back to Atlanta at the time. So fresh off the plane, I pulled up at Boosie's set. And I was like, dang, like this is crazy. This is crazy right now. Like this is big. Yeah. And we kept the connections with a lot of people, the BET producers. So we got called to do what was it, like the BET experience at the time that they had here in Atlanta. Okay. We did the whole weekend. And it was so funny because like the characters, reality stars and entertainers, they were like, can you give me a ride here? And I had, people I watch on TV in my car, and it was just exciting,
I could only imagine someone that you like naturally watch on television all the time. Now, all of a sudden, they're really sitting in the backseat of your car like, yeah, I need a ride.
And I'm like, my kids are never going to believe you in my car. Can you FaceTime my kids? And they're like, sure. But it was exciting because some people, I'm not going to say everybody, some people were really humble. And, I kept communications with them, which opened up communications on bigger levels, especially they're like, oh, you connected with Steve Harvey. He helped you get in Walmart and et cetera. And I'm like, yeah. So from the Steve show, I knew the makeup artistry. My makeup artist became so big. One of them, he went on tour with a big time gospel singer. He started touring. I could never get him in the studio. He's now like still her personal makeup artist, but now he's doing like all the celebrities, like big name celebrities now. So I'm like, okay. And then my other makeup artist that I had with me, she's doing big time print work and just traveling. So they took a leg on their own because of the show. They were getting recognized. Their work speak for itself. So, that was a big deal that we had the most amazing makeup artist. Let's just say that Atlanta had to offer. And I wanted to make a show about that because people don't see the behind the scenes when a big name calls you to do her makeup at 7 o'clock in the morning, and she wants you there at 6, but she doesn't open the gate until 8. So call time got pushed back and she blames it on makeup. And It's a lot of stories that I could.
Oh, I'm pretty sure. Like, wait, what? Wait a minute. You want me here at 6, but you're not opening up till 8. So I'm just supposed to sit here for 2 hours until you decide
Yep,
if you want to. Oh, okay. All right. Oh,
absolutely. It's so many horror stories. But I wanted people to see the behind the scenes because people credit, oh, I want to thank this person and thank that person. You need to thank your makeup artist because if it wasn't for us,
you wouldn't be
so,
looking the way you look right now.
and it was a big deal. So I kind of fell back from wanting to start a reality show because they wanted me to put my personal life into it. But I feel like at the time, and I still feel this way, when you watch a brand on TV, you need to focus on that brand, not, what Bella has going on in her personal life and what Bella does personally, because Bella wants you to focus on her brand. And that's what I'm trying to put out there. So because we wasn't trying to, give everything, they were like, maybe we should go in a different direction, which they did. They actually went in a different direction, and it was the direction they went in. It was kind of funny because it was like, wow. And
you know what? You have to look at it like this. It was in your favor because, as you said, you're not willing to compromise your brand.
Yeah.
For some ratings.
I feel like so many companies do that. Like even with my favorite singer, I was in love with a certain favorite singer, and I felt like, oh, he's going to be my everything. But then once I started to see him on social media acting like a fool, I don't want to.
Okay, so let's talk about this. Wait a minute, hold on now. See, you just hit on something now. So let's talk about it for a second. Let's talk about brands because we've been talking about it for a minute. But like, A, how important is it? And B, let's talk about the brand space, like distinguishing your brand,
yes,
other brands.
Right.
So, like, first and foremost, let's just talk about the importance of branding. Like, can you just tell the listeners just a little bit how important is branding?
Absolutely. As I said, when we first started, nobody wanted to deal with us because they didn't know us. But then once we start pursuing ourselves as a brand, people are like, who is that? Who is that? So it's definitely important for you to have confidence in your brand, because once you have that confidence in your brand, people are going to be confident in buying from you or working with you. And that just, takes a leg on its own because they're going to say, oh, I bought this from, and I was just recently on vacation and 2 ladies, they came up to me. They was like, oh, you look like somebody. And what do you do? And I told them, and it was like, we know of Bella Rose Passion, and you never know who's going to know you. So you have to look the part. You have to always carry yourself the part. And you have to always have that confidence. Who wants to get their makeup done by somebody who's like, I'm not sure what brush I should use.
That's not confident.
And you have to always know that I know what I got this, because I went into this, like you said, winning 5 years in a row as business excellence and growing our company from literally nowhere to now. I have brands, big retail brands contacting me on a, daily basis. I don't have a business degree. I didn't sit in a bunch of courses and classrooms. It was people who would, teach courses on, oh, I can teach you how to do this for $35. Mm-hmm. And when people would throw those numbers out, or even like, oh, women empowerment type of thing. And I would try to connect with certain females here that had a profile here in Atlanta. They were really mean girls. So I couldn't learn from anybody, but I had to teach myself by just making mistakes. And, sometimes you just have to trust your judgment. And I'm glad I took a chance on myself. Well, and yeah, that's where your brand identity comes from, because nobody's going to take a chance on you if you don't take a chance on yourself. Mm-hmm. You have to know, like I said, confidence. It's like I know know my product is good. I know my work is good. And I know I'm worth this. But does anybody else know? And then you go into, when you find your audience, you have to learn how to market to your audience. So it's like, my audience, they're more millennials, urban, and they like the fact that I can connect to them. I'm not talking to them as a big time CEO. I'm talking to them as, girl, you should try this product. Let me show you how it looks. Right. I'm on their level, and I don't make them feel like I'm not. I don't care if I'm at a pop-up shop. I don't care if I'm, in Walmart. And another thing, with branding, when I first launched in Walmart 2 years ago, this is what I would do. With iPhones, I would have my iPhone go to, and you know how to airdrop with iPhones. Right. So I airdrop my stuff to other people that allowed it and show the customers my product, my price on Walmart.com versus them purchasing other stuff. And I would do it in beauty because they sell my stuff in beauty supply stores. I would do it in beauty supply stores, airdrop my stuff to let them know my stuff is sold here in this beauty supply store. You can purchase my stuff. So just turn your airdrop on. As long as people got their Bluetooth on, it's going to pop up on their phone. And that's branding. It's marketing. You get 10% off if you purchase right now. I'll try.
I mean, but you know what? Look, I have yet to hear anyone say that. I've had people on my show, and I've had people with similar stories as pretty much as yourself. No business school, no business background. Just had an idea, pretty much went forward with it, and voila. But that's very creative.
Separate yourself. Is you.
Well, as I said, how do you distinguish yourself from others? That is one way of distinguishing yourself from others. And I also like the fact that, you're just not sitting back, and waiting. Hey, I'm just going to wait for people to, come through or whatever, and then say something like this, that, what have you. You're actually going out. You are being remote. So
yeah. And well, this is pre-pandemic, but you have to understand, obviously Walmart has their own traffic, their own customers, so guaranteed we're going to get sales, but it's not like, when you go into Walmart, what you want to purchase. Sometimes you're like, oh, I know I already want this.
Right.
So people don't know Bella Rose passion on that level, on that Walmart level. So when people are pulling up to Walmart and I'm right there at the door, airdropping Bella Rose passion, airdropping Bella Rose passion. I'm like, what's this? And it says available at Walmart. They're like, oh, well, I'm here anyway.
Right. Let me just go. Oh. And so, but that's marketing 101. That's something that, look, you didn't go to school for, but you had an intuition, man. You know what? They sell my product here anyway. Let me just go here, set up.
Yeah.
Business cards, don't have business cards, but I do have this. I have an iPhone and I can airdrop. And I know a lot of people have iPhones. So as they walk in, hey, I hope your Bluetooth's on because I'm airdropping. Oh, well, bloop, 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 bloop. That is genius.
It works. And it grew my Walmart audience because, we have a separate audience. It grew my Walmart audience to know we only have certain products in Walmart, which is our bath and beauty products. We don't have our skincare products with Walmart because I felt like my skincare products was worthy of Target. Now, I pitched to Target 3 years ago. It was a no.
Okay.
And I don't really like for people to tell me no.
Okay. All right. I hear that.
I connected with the buyer. The buyer came to my booth and she said, do you mind if I take some samples to take to my supervisor? Absolutely. She said, we love your product, but it needs work. Okay. What do I need to do? Constructive criticism goes a long way, Mm-hmm. So we changed the jars. We changed the labels. We changed the wording. We did the pitch by pitch by pitch. I went so far as I went to Target one time. My daughter came with me, and my daughter, she's 22 now. And we went to Target. She filmed me asking associate, "Hey, do you carry Bella Rose Passion?" Showing them the product, and she's like going through her little phone things. "No, we don't have it. You should, because this product is da 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 da." And I just went down the list, sent that video to Target, and pitched it, and they were like, "Okay, okay, okay." So then they were a little skeptical about the price. So I said, "Well, I can make this exclusively to you. You know, it won't sell on any other avenue. It would just sell exclusively to your customers." So they were like, "It's still kind of high. You know, they don't, it's a shea butter." And here it is. It's a small jar of shea butter.
Okay.
Like, who's going to pay $20 for that? My customers. I get over, millions of customers. So why wouldn't you want to tap into that? Well, why wouldn't you want to do that? So I had to show them, if you can see.
Okay. All right. Colorful.
Okay. And, it's exclusive, like you're not going to find this. It smells amazing. It looks amazing. It makes your skin shimmer and hydrate at the same time. And it also lasts 24 hours. Once you wash your hands, this is not coming off. So this jar does last. I just was really selling it. So they were like, "Okay," and then pandemic happened. So we had time to tweak some things. And I was able to add some more things to the line instead of just a 4-ounce jar. It was like, "Well, what about a larger jar?" So we did an 8-ounce jar. We did unicorn lotion. We did unicorn lip butter.
Wow.
And they took the whole collection. And now it's
wow. But
at the price point that I want to.
So never letting up off your original point.
3 years.
Man, look, it's not always going to happen because, see, I think that's a misconception a lot sometimes too that people have. Like, hey, I came up with this product, or I came up with, this hat or jacket or whatever, and they honestly think that it's going to be instant success. Like, why, people are out here buying, people are out here doing this, people are out here doing that. But as you said, just like with anything, if people don't know who you are, they're just not going to trust, whatever it is that you're offering. People have to trust.
So keeping those, like you said, keeping those people, once I made that connection with the target buyer, she was like my best friend. Like, I was emailing her, I was texting her, "Hey, Merry Christmas, how are you?"
But hey, let's just keep it real. Those are the types of things that you want to keep
absolutely
going, because when you're truly making connections, and let's just keep it real. At the end of the day, they have something you want, you have something they want. So absolutely. Now it's really about, like, how can we appease each other to get, what it is that we both want for, I guess, the price and, the quantity that we want, as well. So, man, look, as I said, you got something going on over there, okay? And corporate was a word that I didn't just pick out of anywhere. Like, there's a reason why you're corporate, okay?
And it was like, okay, because we got offered a year and a half ago for someone to buy the company. Like, why would you want to buy my company? Like, it's not even where it's supposed to be yet. But I think that the at the time, they wanted to take it there and felt like I didn't have the ambition to do it. And because it was, people with a certain, they have certain legs where they can do certain things. Yeah. And they were like, "Oh, we can take this somewhere where you can't. So you should just sell us the formula and give us everything. And let's be clear, we'll keep you on as a creative director, but BellaRosePassion.com will no longer belong to you, et cetera, et cetera." No. Let me see all I can do, and let me take it there, and we can revisit this idea some years, because I'm not ready for that. And it was times I quit, like, all the time. It's hard where you see something and it's like right there, and you like, dang, man, I know I can get this. I know I can do it. And it's like, not yet.
Well, yeah, and I get it and I understand, but also at the same time, let's just be real. Man, my grandfather always said, look, if they want to buy it off your back, that means you got something. Okay?
Exactly.
So the fact that they came to you, trying to like, hey, you know what? We don't know if you're really going to get this to where you need to get it to, knowing that you were, knowing that you are, knowing that you're like doing it, like that's the only reason why that my whole thing is if you were not progressing in a, fashion that's suitable for anyone to come look at you, you wouldn't even be here. So obviously I'm doing something, it may not be to the standard that I want it to be at right now.
Absolutely.
But I'm doing something over here that's very monumental. Okay.
It's the attention of a lot of people I never thought that I would, see and meet, and it's exciting.
See? Now, let's talk a little bit about this Bella Rose artistry that you have. Like, I want to talk about this. Like, what is all this about?
So it was the makeup agency that I was telling you about, caught the attention of, the producers of Steve Harvey show, all the reality stars, we got called by the producers at Lifetime to come do makeup for 3 seasons for a reality show. We got just calls from everybody, and it was crazy. Like, how did you get my number? And they would refer me, and I can tell you, like, one of my favorite bookings was Charlie Baltimore. Are you familiar with Charlie Baltimore?
Charlie Baltimore, the hip hop artist. Yes, I know exactly who she is.
Oh my God, that was, when I tell you, like I said, it was some good times and some bad times. She was one of the people, when I first started, she was one of the people who you look at and be like, oh my God. Because I grew up on Murder Inc. and it was like, I'm here, and it was other, celebrities and stuff, but it wasn't like that moment, because that moment was like, it was
Starstruck.
Yeah, and we work with a lot of other people, big names, and they were great. It was some really mean people, but we did our job. We got paid. We enjoyed. My makeup artist that was under the agency, they caused me to have high blood pressure. Wow. And it was crazy. Like, it was to the point where, okay, so let me just break the story down. Like I said, we got booked to do the Jacksons one time. Okay. And the people who booked us, amazing. They put our makeup artist in like I can't remember the name of the hotel, but a really fancy hotel, right? Mm-hmm. They had picked them up in a limo. And you would think that this is great, right? Not for them.
What happened?
They got breakfast in the morning. They called me, and my blood pressure was already elevated because I was already dealing with hypertension. So at the time I was at the hospital. Okay. And they called me. They was like, Pella, you need to bring us some Waffle House or something, because they sent us breakfast and it's this little crab cakes and girl, you better eat them crab cakes. But I had to remember who I was dealing with, and I remember my artists are not, I'm fancy and like I like stuff like that, but they weren't at the time. Yeah. So I remember what they was used to. So got out of the hospital, got in my car at 7 o'clock in the morning, went and got them some Krispy Kreme, some, whatever it was to tie them over. I pulls up. Now I live about a good 45 minutes from Buckhead. This is where the booking was at. Mm-hmm. And 2 of the makeup artists didn't get along at the time, so they were arguing. So I pulls up, and everybody's in the room getting their makeup done, and I'm like, here you go, da, 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 da. They're like, oh, why you come? Oh, everything fine.
Really? I just got out the bed and did all these things.
Wow. It was a lot of times like that, and particularly when you have people who work together and you're getting called for so many different high profile bookings, and you got one of them that is kind of like Oh, I thought I was your favorite. How come you hired her to do Faith Evans? Oh, I thought I was your favorite. How come you hired her to do da? And it's like, what we did at the artistry. Yes, we got booked by high profiles, but also regular people. We gave them the opportunity to go through the portfolio of our artists and choose which artists they would like to work with. Most people wanted that natural look. So they always chose this one particular artist that I had. And all of the other artists did over the top dramatic looks, which was good for a lot of music videos and et cetera, but not for the high profile artists that were doing sometimes TV work.
Right.
And they would get upset, and it was just a lot. And it was fun, but it was a lot.
Well, I mean, but it sounds like it was a learning experience because, as you said, you had to gauge relationships when it comes to work, because these are people that you're sending out that represent you.
Absolutely.
At the end of the day, this is your brand, man. At the end of the day, all fingers point back to Bella Rose. So,
exactly.
Despite whatever happens out here, it's great, it's not great, she was the best or she was the worst. No matter what, at the end of the day, those fingers are going to come back to you. So
they're like, oh, that Bella Rose artist. Oh, that artist that Bella Rose. I'm like,
it will always be that Bella. Even though that artist has a name, it's Bella Rose artist.
Right.
What's her name? I don't know. She came from Bella Rose. That's
exactly.
all going to man. So pretty much, as we spoke on a little bit earlier, it also goes back to branding. So, man, you have to tie all these things into, together when you're forming a corporation as well.
Correct.
So let me just ask, if people they want to check out the products, they want to see more of you or just see anything you got going on, how can people get in contact with you via social media? Excuse me.
Everything is at Bella Rose Passion. That's Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, Twitter. Everything is at Bella Rose Passion. YouTube, all of that. If you just Google Bella Rose Passion or just hashtag Bella Rose Passion, everything will come up. We worked on that as far as marketing and branding. It has to have everything in one umbrella. They can definitely just Google Bella Rose Passion.
Okay, all right. Hey, there y'all go. Bella Rose Passion. She's everywhere. Target, Walmart. Okay. Bella Rose Passion. Just go to the website. Yep. You know what, man? Now, don't get me wrong. If you're just in the area, if you already at the Target, you listening to this, just go ahead. Okay.
Absolutely.
But if you at home and you listening to us right now, just go ahead and get online and just go to Bella Rose Passion.
Absolutely.
Go ahead, hit that. Boom. It'll be right there. Okay. All right. Now, Miss Bella Rose, I love a good story and I love everything we've been talking about. You have really didn't drop some gems today. I've really learned some stuff, sitting here talking to you. And I love talking to, entrepreneurs, especially, those who aren't the so-called, I guess what's the formal type of entrepreneurs. Well, I went to school and I did this. No. Had an idea, went for it, man.
Yeah.
Here we are, okay? So, this is the last question of the show. This is the question that my show is known for, so I have to ask. Miss Bella Rose, what is the one word that best describes you and why?
Determined. Yeah.
Okay. Why?
Because I'm not going to give up. I am determined to have Bella Rose Passion as a household brand name. Just like everyone wants, Dove soap or something. Everybody's going to want Bella Rose Passion. And, it's already to that level at some point in some households, which is great. So I just need to take it there a little step further, and I'm determined to get it there.
Okay. Well, look here. You are... I don't know how many more steps you got to take, but man, as far as I'm concerned, you almost there. I mean, honestly, I just love it. I just love the fact that, as we talked about a little bit earlier, brand space, you are out here on the market, you know, fighting with all these other like corporate giants, and you're making a name for yourself.
Yeah.
And that's the thing at the end of the day. So as I said before, no more walking past the door not knowing who I am. You know who I am now. So
Yeah.
now it's all about support.
Yeah, you walk in that door with confidence, and people are going to want to know, like, who is that?
Man, look, that's right. That's right. Well, look, I've enjoyed you, and I've enjoyed your story.
Thank you.
No problem at all. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Word with Ty Brownlow. My name is Ty Brownlow. And remember, no one is worthless. No story is worthless. You can follow me on all social media platforms at Word with Ty Brownlow. Or you can just go to my website, tybrownlow.com. Man, you definitely going to get this wonderful interview, plus other great interviews. Ms. Bella Rose, I thank you for being my guest.
Thank you.
We out, people. Peace.